This is the all-new 2026 Toyota RAV4, and it's a pretty big deal. The RAV4 is Toyota's best-selling model here in the States, and it's the crossover SUV that arguably invented the segment all the way back in 1994. It's been 7 years since it was last reimagined, and this year, Toyota is giving us a total of 7 different trims spread across 3 distinct design families, including an off-road adventure-focused Woodland grade, and for the first time, a performance-oriented GR Sport version. Regardless of which one you choose or how you spec it, every single version of the RAV4 has been electrified, and finally, we get a refreshed infotainment system that promises to bring Toyota's in-car tech into the modern world. They say this generation is more capable, more powerful, and more versatile than ever before. Question is, with competition stronger than ever, does it have what it takes to stay on top? Let's find out. It doesn't take an art major to see that the changes on the outside are significant. The front fascia adopts Toyota's latest design language, the rear has been sharpened and simplified with LED tail lamps that no longer stick out past the bodywork, there are sharp, complex lines around the sides, and it all adds up to a compact SUV that could nearly be mistaken for a Lexus. The Woodland trim gets a more rugged-looking grille with fog lamps from Rigid Industries baked right in, wider satin-finished overfenders, and satin black bumper treatments front and rear to help stave off scuffs and scratches on the trail. It also comes with Woodland-specific roof rails with crossbars and the cutest little trailer hitch I've ever seen. The GR version has distinct 20-inch wheels with more aggressive offset, additional ducting for cooling and aerodynamics up front, a chin spoiler, a rear diffuser, and of course, because it's the sporty version, a rear spoiler and bright red brake calipers are compulsory. It's come a long way since the first RAV4 that hit the streets in 1994. That was basically a lifted Corolla with all-wheel drive. A design that worked so well that it became the blueprint that almost every automaker copied. Now, depending on which grade you pick, it's up to 2 inches longer, an inch wider, and just over 2 inches taller, though the GR has been dropped nearly 15 millimeters over the standard model for improved handling. Thing is, regardless of trim, the new RAV4 actually loses about 9% of its usable cargo space, and if the numbers Toyota provided are correct, the base curb weight is up nearly 300 pounds. But don't grab your torches and pitchforks just yet. Remember, they're all hybrids now. Passenger volume remains the same and actually gains slightly if you don't get a moonroof, plus the added hip room in both rows makes it feel roomier inside than ever. And there are now plug-in options across all grades, a towing capacity of up to 3,500 pounds, and when properly equipped, over 600 miles of range on a single tank. And things get even better once you climb inside. From in here, it's clear Toyota's been paying attention to what it is people actually want out of an SUV like this, and frankly, they've nailed the execution. Front and center is a brand new infotainment system. You get a 10.5-inch screen standard, though a massive 12.9-inch screen is available. And regardless of screen size, you get the latest in Toyota's interface design. They say it runs on open source automotive-grade Linux and has been developed using what they call the Arene SDK. What that actually means is you get a more smartphone-like interface with quicker response times, a configurable home screen, and access to a whole bunch of clever widgets for navigation, drive mode, audio, and weather that can be customized however you see fit. And that's all paired with a new instrument cluster that finally shows turn-by-turn directions and pairs perfectly with the whole technology suite. It also means that the RAV4 now comes with the ability to use its onboard cameras as drive recorders, which gives you full dashcam functionality right out of the box. That's a feature that's usually reserved for cars at a much higher price point than this. There are climate and media controls baked right into the touchscreen, but you still get physical buttons and knobs if you're the kind of person that prefers a more tactile approach. Everything is well laid out and easy to use, and if I'm honest, my initial impressions here are a level of overall interior design and quality that would make the outgoing RAV4 blush. The seats in all 3 grades are extremely comfortable. All the switchgear feels like it's built to last for the next 100 years, and while of course there are some cheap materials here and there, virtually everything you touch, from the door cards to the gear selector to the steering wheel and even the trim, all feel a cut above the price point. Cargo and passenger volume are generous, and the rear seats fold completely flat, making it as functional as possible. Go for the limited grade or higher and you get things like LED headlights, a 9-speaker JBL audio system, heated seats all around, ventilated seats up front, dual wireless phone chargers, rain-sensing wipers, a digital rearview mirror, and an excellent 3D camera system.
But even on the entry-level grades, Toyota's Safety Sense 4.0, which is the latest in advanced driver assistance tech, comes standard. That means adaptive cruise, front and rear park assist, automated emergency braking, lane tracing assist, pedestrian detection, cross-traffic alert, you get it all. But as impressive as the interior and technology here are, it doesn't count for much if it isn't great to drive. The first thing you'll notice from behind the wheel is just how much quieter it is going down the road. Wind and tire noise are hushed, and there's just less vibration and harshness than there was before. The old RAV4 felt more economically built. This one feels more substantial. Now, I've spent the whole day driving all the different grades Toyota has to offer, and truthfully, they all ride really good. The suspension here is compliant without ever feeling loose or floaty, and the steering, while it is pretty light even on the GR, is accurate. You don't get a lot of feedback here, but the trade-off is a car that's extremely comfortable and easy to drive. Toyota nailed the braking calibration. The brakes are super smooth and progressive, and all of the controls are smartly placed and easy to use. You've got great visibility all the way around, and it's easy to place this thing on the road. Basically, the driving experience here is everything you'd expect from a RAV4, just all improved that little bit. Now, the engine is a little grumbly, and it protests when you put your foot to the floor. Sort of par for the course for anything with a CVT. And it's not hugely powerful. Performance is just okay, but then again, the trade-off there is seriously impressive fuel economy. Plug-in versions switch things up a bit, because plug-in versions make a combined 324 horsepower. And that makes a difference.
If the outgoing RAV4 Prime, a naming convention that's been dropped by the way, is anything to go by, we should expect 0 to 60 times as low as around 5.5 seconds, if that extra power is enough to make up for the added weight. The plug-in cars pull harder than any compact SUV has the right to, and I'm absolutely here for it. And now, running Toyota's 6th generation plug-in hybrid system, EV-only range has been boosted to an impressive 51 miles, plus it's got an EV mode that's truly all EV. And not the kind of system that fires the engine just because you put your foot down. Or you can leave it in hybrid mode, or an automatic mode that switches between the two as it sees fit. And I've just gotta say it, this is probably the smoothest hybrid system I've ever experienced, and at times I genuinely couldn't tell if the engine was running. The way power is transmitted and handled isn't only a big step above the last generation RAV4, it's a big leap forward in the industry full stop. On-road characteristics between the grades are subtle. The Woodland rides soft, and the handling is just barely squishier, thanks to its higher riding suspension and off-road tires, but shockingly, you don't really give up anything in overall road manners, and somehow, those knobby tires stay quiet. Maybe more impressively is what they've done with the GR. You'd expect the performance-tuned dampers, sportier steering mapping, and a chassis that's been stiffened front and rear that would make you give up some ride quality. But you don't. It's definitely sharper than other grades, but it never punishes you for picking the one with the spoiler. They all drive fantastic, and you can feel the full might of Toyota design and engineering baked into everything here. But the competition hasn't been standing still. Every major automaker's got a horse in this race, and at this point, they all do basically the same dance, just in slightly different shoes. Take the Honda CRV. It's smoother and quieter than before, and its hybrid system is finally dialed in. But it's not as quick, and the infotainment still feels a generation behind what Toyota's doing here. The CRV is a sensible choice, but also the automotive equivalent of beige. Solid, reliable, and utterly predictable. Then there's the Subaru Forester, which fights back with standard all-wheel drive and great visibility, but even in its new generation, it can't match the RAV4's refinement or efficiency. It's fantastic if you're the weekend hike type, but you'll feel that extra drag on the highway. And the interior's still more LL Bean catalog than real luxury. Plus, with the Woodland grade in the mix, outdoorsy types have another strong contender. The Mazda CX-50 is, or at least was, easily the driver's choice of the bunch. It's planted, sharp, and legitimately fun on a twisty road. But that focus on handling comes with a firmer ride and slightly less rear seat and cargo space than in the Toyota. It feels premium, but the RAV4 now edges it on tech and overall quietness. Not to mention the spicier GR option if feeling the road is your kind of thing. And the Volkswagen Tiguan? It's roomy, composed, and feels solidly German. But the powertrain is still a bit underwhelming, and fuel economy lags far behind Toyota's hybrid setup. It's the one you buy if you like driving something that feels more European. And I do think it's got the nicest interior of the bunch, but it won't save you at the pump. Pricing hasn't been officially announced yet, but Toyota says we can expect the lineup to start in the low $30,000 range for base hybrid trims and likely climbing to around $50,000 for fully loaded plug-in versions. That puts it right in line with the segment's sweet spot. But given Toyota's reputation for reliability and resale, it's likely to hold its value better than anything else here. So while the competition has tightened up considerably, the RAV4's blend of efficiency, tech, and everyday livability still make it the one to beat. And the approach of building 3 distinct families that each go to bat against the defining features of their competitors is downright brilliant.
So what's the verdict here? Simply put, I think Toyota nailed the new RAV4. It's a big upgrade every way you look at it from the outgoing model, and I have no doubts that it'll continue to be a tremendous seller. It's been updated and improved in all the ways that matter to most buyers, and while we don't have official pricing yet, we've been told it will start in the low 30s and creep up from there. Toyota made some big promises with this car back when they unveiled it months ago, and now having spent the day driving it, I think they absolutely delivered. I want to give a big thanks to Toyota for flying us down, and as always, an even bigger thanks to you for watching. Do me a favor, hit that like button and get subscribed. My name's Trav, that's the all-new 2026 Toyota RAV4, and I'll see you all with a fresh review next week.